Hello, Earthlings, and all you wonderful people. Welcome to League Unlock. Eric and Mark here with you guys. If you heard the news recently, and it's something that's been talked about for a long time, it is World Cup action in League of Legends, country versus country. We see it all over other esports. You have the Overwatch World Cup, which always is hype around BlizzCon, and League is behind in this regard. Pretty much the only thing when it comes to esports.
Got to catch up, get our own World Cup, have some fun. One of my favorite things about these type of events, and especially in esports, is when you get these players away from their separate organizations, coming together to play for your nation, play for your country here, and have a lot of fun. These things are always amazing moments as a spectator here to get behind, rally around with your friends, rally behind the players playing for your country here, give it a good show. Give us a League of Legends World Cup. I guarantee you it'll be better than the other ones out there. No way the Overwatch World Cup is better.
And Riot did say that is something they're looking to in the future. It's not going to happen in 2020, maybe 2021 at the earliest, but you saw glimpses of this at the Asian Games. Obviously, that tournament, it was really just China versus Korea because all the other countries were not even close to being major regions. And yes, if we did do a World Cup, a roster for Korea would be absolutely stacked. We got to look at what the best rosters would be to compete against them. But if the LCK did send a squad, I mean, you could probably make 3 or 4 squads that could be favorites for the overall tournament.
And this is exactly where it shows up, all this skill, all this talent that we've seen. These ones, everyone here, Lehens, it's a fitting name that he joins this squad of major talent because everyone here, they're not Lehens, they're legends on this stage here. All 5 ready to dish out the damage and take Korea to this World Cup. This would be a stacked lineup.
Yeah, and you could sub in Tarzan and Chovy in the mid lane if you want to keep that synergy there. Then you got 3 Griffin members. The top lane, I don't think there's any question that the Shy would be there. Yes, he's from the LPL, but he is Korean. He's pretty much consensus the best top laner in the world right now. AD carry, take your pick of the litter, man. You could be taking Deft, you could take Ruler, you could take Viper, you could take Teddy. Any one of those is pretty good.
There are so many great options here, and that's kind of the other exciting thing that you don't even mention here is when you get into a World Cup type of format here, you do have usually some of these expanded type of rosters here, and you might see, hey, for one type of match, roll out this lineup and say, hey, next matchup, we want to be rolling out the Griffin boys in our lineup. That is exactly the type of magic that you can see at a World Cup style event.
Yeah, I think for these events, you would almost want a full 10-man roster just to give everybody the opportunity. And yeah, you could almost do full subs and almost have a B team in there. And yes, Korea's B team might be the second best team at the entire tournament. But their main rivals, of course, at any potential World Cup would be China or players from the LPL. And they could make a pretty nasty roster themselves, especially with this young talent like Knight coming up, who's got MVP. Now all of a sudden you have a world-class mid lane that could compete with everyone else. It's not a Korean import because Rookie and Do and B are both Korean. And you get a Finals MVP in Tien.
You have a Finals MVP, the reigning one coming through. Don't make sure you're banning away the Lee Sin here if you're going up against the Chinese squad here in this one. But when you're looking at this lineup here for the LPL, and yes, of course, there was so much firepower over on the Korean side, there's still plenty here in China, and when you're talking about pop-off plays, making out these outplays here, I think this Chinese squad could be the top one here with players like Knight, Uzi here, of course, obviously always scaling up, always getting the damage ready, but Knight is the type of player here, and of course, Tien, as we know, to make these type of pop-offs. And Zoom is someone that has really emerged in the top lane as someone that can push the pace here, make some of those amazing plays, kind of obviously to a level below the Shy, but certainly someone that you gotta respect. And hey, if you're going towards a World Cup, he would be a top-level talent.
Yeah, and we've seen him carry some carcasses of JD Gaming very far, all the way to the finals. And even, I mean, AD carry, yes, Uzi's absolutely going to be choice number 1, but Jackie Love in there right behind him, I mean, you could make a pretty solid B team for the LPL as well. But those would obviously be the 2 huge favorites for any World Cup because it's a little tough. They get to pick from all of the LPL or LCK. When it comes to the LEC, I mean, you have so many different countries that are represented here, but far and away the most stacked roster that you could make would be the Danes. We've talked about Denmark being such a small population and somehow just constantly churns out world-class players at League of Legends and other esports as well.
I don't know how you pick with this type of team, this type of lineup here, who you'd be rolling out. And at the same time, it is not exactly, I think, to the level of the Korean type of squad and all the star names that you could be slotting in here. But here for EU and for this type of country with Denmark to be of, the size it is in comparison and to be able to roll out this level of professional talent is incredible. And it's something that we've known here, of course, in North America, benefiting quite a lot from Denmark's talent for quite a bit here on the League of Legends side.
And they still also have some subs you could throw in. You have Sven Skaren in the jungle. Behind Broxa, you have Sven as an AD carry. The only weak spot is that support with DOS. But even just if you field this roster, that's a favorite to win the LEC.
And yes, I know that in the bottom side it is a 2v2. It does matter a lot here what your support is doing. But I think when you're talking about this type of lineup, this type of power here for Denmark, you can rely upon the strength of the ADC position here to be maybe that bit of that extra boost in that bottom side.
And if you wanted a B team of some kind for Denmark, really the best way you could do it, this has been memed about for years when it comes to Danish mid laners. Just put an entire roster out there of pure mid laners. You could debate quite a bit about what position these guys would actually play, but there it is, your 5 mid laners you throw in there. You have to have Caps in the jungle because we saw how much he loved to roam at the World Championship, so just stick him in the jungle.
Yeah, see, but at the same time, I almost want to throw him into that top side because I know if you're throwing Caps up top, it's either going to be an absolute smash fest there or top is going to be open in 15 minutes, no problem. But also looking...
Better play Yasuo, baby.
Yeah, also looking at this lineup, I love having Froggen down there as the marksman ADC role there because, of course, as we know, well, he's not really going to be playing marksman. He'll be playing whatever he wants. He'll play the Veigar down there, the Anivia. Things will be wonderful.
He loves the farm for 30
awesome
minutes.
Dude carries, farming up here. That is exactly what I want. This mid team here for Denmark could be an actual powerhouse at a potential World Cup.
Yeah, Senkux is obviously the weakest of those 5 mid laners. We haven't even seen him play recently, but he'd be in there at support. That's fine. Play whatever. When you have 4 carries...
Just get on Janna. Push E. He'll be good.
Janna, Nami. Actually, Nami's kind of hard to play. Nope, no disrespect to the fish. But yeah, that would be a fun roster to see. No way Denmark would actually do that. We got to talk... Now, North America, some people don't actually know this. North America is not one country, guys. It's split up. You got the US and Canada, so there'd be 2 different teams. There wouldn't be a Team NA. You'd have a Team USA and a Team Canada. And for the States, they would probably have the better team, mainly because they would have the best player in Doublelift. Haunter, I think, would be a no-brainer choice for the top lane. If you're talking jungle, there's a lot of different options. You could have Xmithy, Meteos, Dardoch, but Xmithy has that international experience.
If you're talking about an all-American roster here, I don't think there's a better player to be rolling into that mid lane as Tanner Time Demonte.
The man is America.
The man gives you your good old yeehaw right into the mid lane there, gets it going for you. And then even on the same mindset there, you got Haunter in the top side, big beefcake ready to roll through, dish out the damage here for North America. And as you said, that experience from Xmithy, everything you need in an international event like a World Cup would be great. And then, hey, talking about personalities, got Rush Hour down in the bottom side, holding things down for NA. Now, I don't think their performance will be good enough compared to some of these unbelievable bottom duos that we've already dished out here.
It's not 2015 anymore.
Right, that seems to be more so the issue there for the 2 of them. But you can't deny that the personalities and the talent, the humor, everything else will be there for NA. Of course, it's the for fun region. Got to have that with Team USA.
Yeah, and I think you almost have to throw Afro in there because Doublelift would be no question the starting AD carry. Maybe you throw Zazel in because he has been better as of late than Afro, but you can't give up an opportunity to reunite Rush Hour in there. And a shout out to the notorious POB. You know he would be the sub mid laner right behind Demonte, but Tanner Demonte has to be playing for Team USA. The Canadian roster, it would have some strong points and some definite weaknesses. I mean, you get Licorice. Oh,
hey,
boy.
Feeling good.
That's how you start. And look at that bottom lane. Cody Sun, Bio. You'd also have Wild Turtle and Smoothie. Bot lane looks great. The mid jungle...
we're a little bit lacking at this point.
We're calling Shifter to get him out of retirement.
Yeah. And this is exactly what I was talking about with the USA roster, with having Rush Hour down in the bottom side. Got to have some personality, some fun here. I think that could be the option here, having Shifter on this lineup here. That, of course, would be one, hey, love watching Shifter stream. Throw him into this type of League of Legends World Cup here, representing the big Maple Leaf for Canada. Would love to see that.
And I think that bot lane and top lane could definitely compete with some of the other rosters we've shown. They'd probably lose, but they'd put up a showing. And Tuesday would definitely have it in rough. And Blaze Olive's another Academy mid laner that you could maybe throw in there as a Canadian boy. But Canada, we just do good bottom lanes.
Good bottom lanes. We've got a nice university scene with League of Legends and esports, of course. But hey, we're still a couple years behind the Korean infrastructure and internet technology, and we don't have 25 servers over here in NA quite yet, just like China. But we'll get there one day, and we'll have a better World Cup roster next time. But this one, it's good enough for me to enjoy watching.
And Sweden could also put up a pretty solid roster with Finn, Memento, Larson, Reckless, and the god himself, Promiscu. So Sweden, probably the second best EU country that could field any kind of roster. We'll be waiting till the World Cup, maybe 2025, we'll be able to actually watch one of them.